Dan Radio Style. Thank you all for joining me on this fine festive day. I love that song. I love Pink Floyd. They're outstanding. So, yes, of course, the station Dan Radio Style. Please subscribe if you get a chance, if you can, if you would, if you could click that little button and possibly have to put in an email address. I think it's about the worst thing that happens. And if you ever want to email me, get in touch with me somehow, please do so at spiritradiodanstyle@gmail.com. That's right. All right, so this is called Fear Nothing or Fear No Things. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to call it, but it's going to be something in line with that once I get down towards the end of this. I'm hearing so much stuff on the news right now. I had to do this show, and frankly, I haven't been real good about staying on top of doing these shows lately. So this was kind of a catch-22. No, more like a win-win. I don't know. It finally got me off my duff, if you will, and I'm recording this. So there's been a lot of things that have been happening around me, around all of us, for that matter, but certainly kind of some of it's sort of more locational. And I think I brought up some of this in other shows, and I'm going to reference. Right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and reference manifestation techniques. Manifestation 101, we've got, a bunch of stuff. I've mentioned it numerous times. And the important thing to keep in mind, if you don't believe this, you don't believe it. That's fine. For those of you that have studied this kind of stuff or have listened to me or know me well or whatever the case is, I've probably said this to you many, many, many times. And it is about as true as anything I know. And I beg people constantly to prove me wrong. It's really a fun thing. I mean, the beach ball, as I frequently reference, is a big part of this concept, and that's one of the easier ways to prove things. But needless to say, what you think, what you say, and what you do, this is what you manifest. This is what you're putting energy towards. This is what you're telling the universe. You yourself, you are responsible for your thoughts. Whoever you are, you, the individual listening to this on the other end, you are responsible for your own thoughts, words, and deeds, period. Period, end of story. They are creating a reality for you, regardless if you think you are saying something differently, or if, well, the universe understands I'm joking. No, it doesn't. I promise you it doesn't. Joking's great and all, but if it's coming at the expense of being negative or putting negative energies out there or putting energies towards things that certainly aren't in your best interest, then no, the universe is not going, hey, you're joking, I'm just joking too. Because really, it doesn't matter. The universe doesn't have any feeling about it one way or the other. It's giving you what you ask for. Hence, it's called the law of manifestation. Laws are supposed to be things that are irrefutable. Can't prove it, disprove it, whatever. And this truly does seem to fall in that category. I have not been able to come across scenarios in life yet where this still did not apply. I know there's lots of people that'll question this and say that's not true. It doesn't. I got it. I got all that, and I'm not going to argue with any of you because I could care less. That's great. Think that. Please do. Please continue thinking you have absolutely no control over your lives, even though that's not true. Continue to think that way. I'm fine with that. And stop listening to my show, too, because I'm not the kind of person you want to listen to. I'm going to try to help you, not let you believe in a bunch of fallacies and continue sticking your head in the sand about things that you have total control of. So the reason I bring all that up is because the concept of fear is thoughts in negative directions, or is actions in negative directions, or is beliefs, thinking, feelings in negative directions. So when you're really scared, you're putting off a very, very scared vibe. One of the biggest things that we can do, because I'll tell you what, this has been a bit of a war for, a couple decades now, really, has been serious, against the powers that truly run this planet and control things, and the rest of us on this planet that are trying to take it back. And there's been a huge number of light workers, a huge number of spiritual people that have awoken during this time in history. Been an enormous number of people that have said, I want to incarnate this time at this period because this is one of the biggest, most monumental times in the history of this planet. Probably the opposite side of the spectrum, but maybe equal in hugeness, was the fall of Atlantis, which maybe some of you have heard of. Some people consider it a fable, but there's actually some evidence, and you can dig. I'm not going to try to prove anything. You guys know that by now. I'm going to make claims, and for those of you that want to get grumpy about it, then yes, I don't back anything up. And for those of you that aren't grumpy about it, you realize there's plenty of research out there to do, and I'm doing as short a show as possible. So I'm not going to sit here and run a bunch of stuff past you. It's up to you. Get the World Wide Web at your fingertips. Make use of it. That's all I'm saying. So the problem with all this fear stuff and me bringing up the powers that be are losing this battle, we're really at a place right now where they're kind of doing their final effort, if you will, to really cause the havoc that they've been trying to cause. They'd like to see worldwide war in a huge scale. They'd like to see a large portion of the population of this planet removed, permanently, for that matter. And they've kind of got all these little backup plans that they initially had, and a lot of them have been crazily screwed up. So one thing that I think is really funny about fear, and again, I'm going to try to make this show sweet and short. Fear, a little analogy I came up with on the way home, F everything and run. And that's appropriate. When you're literally in a state of fear that needs that to happen, such as you're in a burning building, F everything and run. Get the hell out of there because you're in danger. That fear response that you're feeling, you should definitely probably pay attention to it and make sure that you do what you need to do and get the heck out of Dodge. I was thinking maybe a giant animal off in the distance, far enough away where you running is not going to cause it to run after you. But, giant bear way off in the distance. F everything and run. Another perfect opportunity to make use of the fear response that is so biologically ingrained in us. Now, the times where it doesn't really fit. When you've got the news talking about Ebola and how everybody's going to get Ebola. Everybody's getting Ebola. Well, okay, there's only 2 people in the United States that have actually contracted it. In any sort of I'm licking people with Ebola. I'm making that up, of course. They're not really doing that when they're going out to West Africa and treating these people, but they're putting themselves right there in harm's way. All right, stuff happens. I don't know why they're getting it. Seems weird because they should be dressed properly for it. But whatever the case is, these people are putting themselves in harm's way. I think there is only 2 cases currently, as of the date of this show, of someone who's contracted it here in the States, not in West Africa. Now, again, they're still treating Ebola patients, so they're still in harm's way and possibly not using the proper precautions. But again, there's 2 people. 2 people out of, I'm going to stab it, I forget the exact population, about 379 million, I want to say, in the United States. So 2 out of 379 million, that's 1 out of, 190 million-ish, right? So 1 in 190 million chance of getting Ebola. I think you have a better chance of winning the lottery, maybe, but if not, whatever. Again, ISIS, terrorists, people blowing up parts of the Middle East way, way far away from here. Yes, I know, they can totally try to do things here, blah, blah, blah. Fact is, they haven't yet. Fact is, it's still a long ways away. Other facts to point out to kind of make a little points towards my my initial thing that a lot of this stuff is created by these powers that be. A lot of these dudes in ISIS are running around with American weapons, all right? So all this stuff that we've put out there and we've trained all these rebels and we do all this stuff, every time we hand a bunch of ragtag people a bunch of really nice weapons and say, all right, we're going to train you to fight these people, ultimately we're going to be fighting them again. Historically, I think we're probably borderline 100% accurate on that occurring 100% of the time. So again, really be aware of what's happening. The news is meant to scare you. It's meant to freak you out. It's meant to make you think all these things that are horrible are happening around you. They're happening right now, and there's no way to avoid it. And the fact of the matter is if you keep your thoughts on peaceful things, on loving things, on your family, on keeping them safe, on being safe, on living safe, again, all positive forms of this. If something horrible is going to happen in your locale, and you've been positive all this time, I promise you're going to be in the right place at the wrong time, okay? You're going to be someplace else when whatever it is, the bomb goes off, boom, you're not going to be there, nor is your child, nor is your family. All right, so if it has to happen in a locale, which I pretty strongly disagree that it would happen, but if it has to, just stay on the positive. You believe in God, you believe in positive energy, you believe in whatever you want to call it, make use of that. Believe in the powers that are there trying to help us, and understand that we are safe at all times. Keep your thoughts positive, especially now. This is the challenge of challenges for all of us. For the spiritual people that are truly stepping up to the plate, this is really the time to show your powers, to not give credit to this stuff, to not be talking about it. What you think, what you say, what you do. You've got to try to stay positive, be the shining light for all of those that are out there that are looking to you as guidance, you spiritual worker. All right, so keep these things in mind, and we can not only change things and take the power back in this planet, but we can also make a difference to those that are around us, that are looking up to us, that we are the light bearers, the way showers. Let's be that. Let's own that. Let's do our best to stay out of fear, to stay out of negative thinking, to stay out of this everybody's an enemy. If you happen to be Muslim, I need to kill you before you kill me. Let's stop doing that. Let's realize that we all are one. And yeah, there's some really, really super bad people on this planet, and there's some ridiculously, amazingly good people on this planet, and then the rest of us kind of fall in the middle, right? You got your Mother Teresa's, and you got your, I don't know, your Adolf Hitlers. I don't really know who the name of anyone that's really, really evil right now, other than maybe the powers that be. I might say the Rockefellers or the Bushes or Kennedys have some people in those positions. I'm trying to think of people. Most of them are Republicans that I'm coming to mind, and I am not a Republican or a Democrat. I actually hate politics altogether. But whatever the case is, these are just the names that are popping up top of my head. So let's try to stay positive. Let's use this as the test that it is meant to be, and let's keep ourselves focused. Let's keep ourselves on track, and we'll make a difference. I assure you, we will make a difference. This war is close to being over. And I just wanted to remind everybody, we're almost there. Just keep on it. Keep positive. Stay away from fear. Fear is not helping. If you can't help but watch the news and get all freaked out and crazy, stop watching the news, period. That's the first thing. Otherwise, understand what they're trying to do and watch it and go, okay, well, there's some crazy stuff going on in the world. Groovy. Anyway, I know we're okay, and I know my family's safe because we're always safe, and we're going to be, regardless of what's happening around us. Trying to keep things in perspective if we can. Dan Radio Style. That's kind of what I'm all about here. This show maybe was a little more like hard-hitting. Sort of. I'm rolling my eyes as I say that. It's a little more direct, I guess, hard-hitting. I don't know, it's sort of stupid. It sounds so like cliche radio. But it's I'm trying to remind people because I really do think this is ridiculous, all the stuff I'm hearing on the news these days. And it's just like I'm shaking my head going, are you freaking serious? Come on. So stay positive. Keep your focus on what you would like to experience. That seriously, your thoughts at all. Even if you're going, wow, it's really dangerous in the Middle East. Okay, that thought is negative. It's a negative thought. It's towards what you probably would rather go, I'd like to see peaceful people from the Middle East stand up and take back their country. I'd like to see the right people of peace, people of love, people of God come forward and start to make a difference and start to make changes. Let's think those kinds of things. Like, what do you wish to experience? Let's talk about that. Even if the world's crazy, let's talk about what you'd like to experience. Dan Radio Style, thanks for joining me. If you want to contact me, please do so at spiritradiodanstyle@gmail.com. Thanks so much for joining me.